So talking today specifically about sleep as a state of consciousness and theories of dreaming. Okay, so sleep during the night goes through a cycle, and a cycle occurs about every 90 minutes that you are asleep. So your sleep then cycles through these different stages, alternating with this final stage of rapid eye movement or REM sleep. So in stage one, you are drifting to the edge of consciousness, and as you can see here from the graphic, these lines over here are brain waves, and so you can see that the pattern of activity within your brain changes with each stage of sleep. Okay, so in stage two then, minor noises won't disturb you as you are beginning to fall asleep. Stage three, your breathing and your pulse slow down significantly. In stage four, this is very, very deep sleep. And if sleepwalking occurs, it occurs during stage four. We don't really know why, but we do know that that is when sleepwalking does occur. And then finally, we have your rapid eye movement sleep. So with rapid eye movement, it's named REM sleep or rapid eye movement sleep because your eyes are rapidly moving. They are darting back and forth very, very quickly. Rapid eye movement sleep or REM sleep is viewed as the most restorative of sleep. This is also the sleep period where you have very, very vivid dreams. So they have a lot of color. You might be doing things that you would never be able to do in real life, like jumping off of a cliff or flying. So rapid eye movement sleep then is when you have these very fantastic kinds of dreams. You can dream during the other stages of sleep, but they don't have quite the same quality in terms of vividness and fantasy that the dreams during REM sleep do. Additionally, REM sleep is often called a paradoxical sleep because your body is very inactive. So you have this loss of muscle tone where your body is basically completely slack. But your brain is incredibly active. So there's a lot of firing going on in your brain. These very vivid dreams are occurring. And the reason that your body is completely inactive while your brain is very active is so you can't act out your dreams. If, your body were capable of acting out the dreams during REM sleep, this could be very, very dangerous. So a typical night's sleep for a young adult, you'll see that you start with being awake and then progressively drift through stages 1 through 4, move back up to stage 1. The red lines are indicative of REM sleep. Okay, so that's that rapid eye movement sleep. So for periods of REM sleep, gradually you see that over the course of the evening, the periods of REM sleep become longer and longer. So this is often why when your alarm goes off in the morning, you are often in the middle of a dream sequence because those REM sleep periods become greater throughout the evening. So why do we sleep? The answer is we're not really sure. We don't know. The exact function is uncertain, but there are a number of very important processes that are carried out during sleep. So sleep allows your body to do essential functionings, like eliminating waste product from your muscles. It also allows your body to restore itself, to repair cells, to strengthen your immune system so that you can fight off diseases, and also to recover abilities that were lost during the day. So remember in the chapter on memory, we talked about consolidation. And consolidation is the process where synaptic changes occur that allow memories to become long-term, durable, and stable. And sleep is very, very instrumental in helping you to form those long-term memories. So some advice, when you are preparing for an exam, it's a really, really good idea for you to study and then go to sleep. Going to sleep helps you consolidate that information so that what you just studied becomes a long-term, stable memory. So there are some things that can go wrong with sleep, some sleep disorders. So we can talk about sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is a condition where your breathing stops momentarily throughout the night, and this causes the person to choke. It sounds like they're gasping for air, and they awaken. So you can see how waking up many, many times, potentially hundreds of times during the night, it prevents you from cycling through the sleep cycle naturally. So this means that people who have sleep apnea might not get to the REM sleep stage where they can then experience that restorative benefit of sleeping. Narcolepsy. Individuals who have narcolepsy have sudden and unpredictable daytime attacks of sleepiness, or they suddenly lapse into REM sleep. So all of a sudden, they will have this overwhelming urge to sleep, and they might fall right into REM sleep immediately without progressing through the prior stages. So individuals who have narcolepsy then have to take medication to be able to manage this. I mean, you can probably see how having narcolepsy could really interfere with things that you and I might take for granted, like being able to drive. I mean, if you have narcolepsy and you're not medicated, you should not be driving, right? If you can fall asleep at any time, that's not safe. And lastly, one that probably most of us can relate to, sleep deprivation. So staying up late and not allowing yourself enough sleep. So as adolescents, so these are people between the ages of about 12 to 19, it is recommended that you get between 9 and 10 hours of sleep. My guess is that most of you probably do not get anywhere near that amount. As you continue to age, you need less and less sleep to be able to function normally. For adults, it's recommended that you get between 6 and 8 hours of sleep. I'll also encourage you to watch the effects of sleep deprivation video that is associated with this chapter to see someone's personal experience with this. Okay, so let's talk about explanations for dreams. So why do we dream? Again, the answer is we don't really know, but there are several theories that are put forth to help to explain dreams. So first, looking at a psychoanalytic or psychodynamic explanation, looking at our friend Sigmund Freud. And Freud believed that dreams are the royal road to the unconscious. So dreams provide insight into understanding those unconscious drives that motivate behavior. So Freud believed then that dreams have two different types of content. There's manifest and latent content. Manifest content includes the aspects of the dream that we consciously experience, okay? So this is like the surface content. This is what you actually remember from the dream. Latent content is about the unconscious or the symbolic thoughts that are put forth in the dream. And so to understand a dream, you have to distinguish this manifest from latent content. So let's say that I have a dream that I go to visit the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. For those of you who know what the Washington Monument looks like, it is a phallic symbol, right? It basically looks like a tall edifice, a tall building, essentially. And if we were looking at the manifest content from that dream then, the manifest content is I went to Washington, I visited the Washington Monument. The latent content, though, would look at the Washington Monument as a symbol. And if we are analyzing this with a Freudian perspective, the Washington Monument is a phallic symbol, which must symbolize a penis. And that means that I have issues with men, or I have issues, surrounding male figures in some way. Okay, another theory of dreaming, the activation synthesis theory. The activation synthesis theory says that the pons, so remember the pons is that part of your brain that is involved in dreaming. The pons is sending out all of these signals, spontaneously firing neurons in that particular area. And your cortex, so remember the cortex, that outer covering on the brain, is trying to make sense of these random signals. And so the way that the cortex makes sense of these random signals, it tries to interpret them, and that forms these dreams that are just crazy, things that would never happen in real life. And also, the parts of your brain that would normally handle logical thought are not working at this particular point, right? They're shut down. So your cortex is trying to make sense of these random firings, and it makes sense of these random firings by coming up with dreams that don't really make any sense. A cognitive approach to dreaming, remember, cognitive always deals with thinking. So a cognitive approach sees dreams as thinking. So dreaming is the same kind of activity that we engage in when we are awake. But the cognitive approach differs from the next approach that we'll talk about, a problem-focused approach to dreaming. The cognitive approach does not make any claims about dreams helping us to solve problems, okay? The idea here, though, is that although we're dreaming about the same kinds of things we do when we're awake, the difference is that, again, the cortex, so the cortex that tries to make sense of what we're dreaming, is cut off from external stimulation. It's cut off from the surrounding environment, from those parts of the brain that handle that logical reasoning. And so that's why we have, again, these crazy kinds of dreams. Last approach to understanding dreaming, the problem-focused approach. And the problem-focused approach says that dreams reflect issues that we consciously think about during the day, so concerns about relationships, work, sex, or health, and that dreams are more likely to contain material that is related to your current concerns than chance would predict. So if any of you have ever been really preparing for an exam in class, and then you dream about missing the exam, the problem-focused approach to dreaming would say that, that's because you are dreaming about things that you're trying to process when you're awake. Additionally, extra support for the problem-focused approach shows that now that men and women have more similar roles in society, they do more similar activities, the dreams that men and women report having are more similar to one another. So problem-focused approach to dreaming states that you dream about the kinds of things that concern you when you're awake, and then that you're also trying to solve these particular problems through your dreaming. So you're dreaming about the problem, trying to work out some kind of solution to the problem.